A number of prominent right-wing figures had some pretty critical things to say about Donald Trump's State of the Union address. In fact, Rick Santorum was one of them. Now, for context, Rick Santorum has been very complimentary toward Trump. He's a pretty big Trump supporter. However, following the State of the Union, he had some pretty harsh words for the president's performance. Take a look.
This was probably the worst delivered speech I've heard Donald Trump give. He ran over his lines. He mixed up the line. He didn't deliver his punchlines.
Jammed in.
He would deliver a line and go to the next issue, and I don't think he even realized he was moving on to the next issue.
There wasn't a paragraph.
Someone didn't do a good job of breaking his speech so he knew what to do. That was a problem. Now, where I don't agree with Jennifer is the president. I counted. You know how many things the president proposed on domestic policy tonight? Now, Bill Clinton, I would sit through this speech and it'd be an encyclopedia of proposals. Stacey Abrams in 4 minutes proposed 40 things. In an hour and a half, Donald Trump proposed 8 domestic policy. 8 the entire night.
Okay, so this is a weird topsy-turvy world where I actually completely disagree with him on Stacey Abrams, and we talked about that for our members last night. One of our biggest criticisms was that there weren't any specific policy proposals, but that's beside the fact. What's important here is what he had to say about Donald Trump's speech, which I was actually pretty shocked by. He hated it.
He's the guy named after the Gay Sex Act, right? Right?
It might be a little bit of.
Oh, right, it's the reverse.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is an unimaginable sentence, but I agree with Rick Santorum. Look, we said it while we were doing the live play-by-play of the State of the Union. He ran in from one topic to another in a way that was like he was talking about cancer and then he went to charter schools, and it was such a run-on sentence with no pause at all that you couldn't tell if the $500 million he was asking for was for cancer or the charter schools. But the one part I disagree with Santorum is, hey, somebody should have broken up the paragraphs for him better, etc. No, I'm sure they did, but he didn't practice the speech. You see people who do their homework and are prepared understand that this is kind of a big deal. The whole country's watching. You might want to know what someone else wrote for you in that speech.
He's a one-pager kind of guy.
Exactly, this speech is way longer than a page, so he has trouble concentrating. I mean, I would love to bet anybody on whether he read it twice. Right now, look, in an ideal world, the president writes a speech, but nobody lives in that world. The Republicans don't do it, Democrats don't do it, and they're all theoretically really busy, although Donald Trump has 6 hours of executive time, right? So he would have to, but okay, I'm not saying he needs to write it, but he needs to edit it. He needs to at least read it, maybe a couple, and deliver it a couple of times so that you practice it, not because I need you to be a great showman, but because if you care about your side, you want to effectively deliver that message. But of course, the guy hates homework. He's a petulant child. So that's why he was not prepared. So he's like, cancer, charter schools, whatever. I'm gonna keep going here, I'm tired. Right, when do I get back to eating burgers and watching Fox and Friends? So of course it's his fault.
Yeah, I mean, right before the State of the Union happened, there was a breaking news story from the New York Times that talked about how Trump was very unhappy with the speech because it wasn't harsh toward the Democrats enough. So what that signaled to me was that he was bored with the speech, didn't really feel passionately about it, and I think that really did come through in the way that he delivered the speech during the State of the Union.
Hey, you know, if you're unhappy with the speech, I got great news for you. You're the president of the United States. You could change it. You could order them to change it. You could edit it yourself. I know, picking up a pen, come on, right? But what do you mean you're unhappy with the speech? It's a speech you're giving. It's not like you didn't have time to prepare. It was delayed. First of all, you know when the State of the Union is coming up. Second of all, it was delayed by Nancy Pelosi. You had all the time in the world to craft it in any way that you like. And why was he unhappy, by the way, on the substance? Because they emphasized unity. They talked about what Emma mentioned earlier, which is, hey, AIDS, cancer, we'll try to make you look human for once in your life. And he's like, I don't like it. When do we get to punch the Democrats, right?
Yep.
Well, that would defeat the whole point of your supposed unity speech. And by the way, why does he want unity? Because as he explained, and we told you in the play-by-play, as soon as it started, he started talking about unity. And then of course he got to the punchline, which is, now if we're gonna be unified, you can't do any investigations of the president.
Well, yeah, now unity is convenient for him because he's lost a chamber of Congress. So that's when you pull unity onto the table, say, this is what I want so I can, we can give more tax cuts to my wealthy friends and to myself.
So one of the other conservatives who did not like all the unity talk was Ann Coulter, who Trump apparently has unfollowed on Twitter. And it might be because she's been coming after him pretty strong, pretty aggressively. And so here's what she had to say: Golden Beaches of California. This was the lamest, sappiest, most intentionally tear-jerking State of the Union ever, as opposed to the fear-mongering that she loves so much. Please fire your speechwriter, Donald Trump. And she also said, 45 minutes in, we got 30 seconds on the wall. He better be breaking ground tomorrow. She's so sad. She's such a sad, sad person.
But I actually think that Trump's sadder because here's Ann Coulter giving directives to the president. And before he was largely taking them.
Yeah.
And then when people caught on to the fact that he was taking his orders from Ann Coulter, then all of a sudden, as usual with the petulant child, he got all, through a temper tantrum. Oh yeah, I'm gonna unfollow you. Like, what president sits around unfollowing people because their feelings were hurt?
No, I know. But Cenk, she wrote a book titled "In Trump We Trust."
Yeah, well,
she wrote a book. That was the title of her book.
She's the biggest opportunist in media. I mean, I don't really think it's close, but I also think this is representative of something larger that's happening with Trump, which is the fact that he's been unable to deliver on the wall. It is the first major loss for him and for his base because he's planted his flag here. He's said the wall is incredibly important. He's been unrelenting on it. And there seems to be no way that he's actually gonna be able to make it happen. And she is a constant voice in his ear or on his tweet feed saying, the wall needs to be built, the wall needs to be built. Tweet feed, Twitter feed. But yeah, she is a representative and indicative of his broken promises to his base, and he cannot stand it. And for that, thanks, Ann Coulter, because it's clearly triggering him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little bitter tweet to compliment Ann Coulter on that. But.
All right, well, this is the part of the show where I move on immediately.
Thanks for watching this free clip of the Young Turks. Don't forget to become a TYT member today. For more exclusive content, join now at tyt.com/join.